What is up, beautiful people? This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Autoscan Detail. Give them a follow on Instagram. Like a couple pictures. Show them some love.
Let's go.
Yo, I'm just happy to be here.
I challenge everybody that listens to this to get out of your shell and go do something new and fun.
Happy to be here.
Like they just slow motion.
Do you see Zach trying to pretend like he doesn't watch cake sitting videos?
Happy to be here.
There to exorcise the demons.
Wait, so your swan man is
Our swan delivery man that brought us bomb pops and chicken nuggets is there to perform an exorcism.
This needs to be made into a short
You
film.
couldn't make this shit up.
Yo, I'm just happy to be here.
We good to go? Oh, what is up, beautiful people of the world?
Right there.
My name is ExZac Change, and I'm happy to be here today with my guest, Lane Flynn,
What up, everyone?
his homie, Jew, and of course, my co-host, Cody Duncan,
What up?
and the beautiful Brennan on the sticks, making it happen.
Wiggy.
Back from the Seahawks game. Even off the L, it's all good. We here. Yeah, a little, it's okay. We're going to bounce back maybe.
Thursday night football.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. It's the Rams. Fuck 'em.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys don't like that shit.
I see you an Eagles fan.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's always a good conversation starter. There's not many of us out here. That's why when you see another one in the bar, you're like, hey. And I'll look at you, and the next thing you know, you guys are friends.
Just you
You
just
never
like,
talk to
yes.
him again. Like,
That's awesome, man. Are you from there, or how did you become an
No.
Eagles fan?
so my dad, growing up, was a Randall Cunningham fan,
Mm-hmm.
just a diehard, and so he had all sorts of Eagles gear around the house. And so I just started with like grabbing his gear and wearing it, and like then I started getting older and becoming a sports fan. I was like, no, this is gonna be my guys. It's my dad's guys, and then he's a fucking traitor now, and he's a Seahawks fan.
Whoa!
He got a little old and was like, no, my boy's got kind of like you were saying, he's got season tickets with a buddy, so.
It's like, how you gonna bait me in,
Right.
make me a fan, and then just switch and
And
leave me
now I'm the
stranded?
asshole.
Yeah.
But
now
no,
you're rooting
he's
against me,
cool
Dad.
about
What
it.
the fuck?
He'll say it, you know, if Eagles are playing Seahawks, he's a Seahawks fan, but if they're playing anyone else, you know.
Then
Eagles are where it's
Eagles. I think it's crazy how we pick a team. You know, especially like when we're kids. You know, like like when I was a kid, I just wanted to pick whoever had the coolest logo. You know, I was just like, oh man, the Buccaneers, Pirates, that's tight. You know,
I was the Bengals. Remember them jackets, those starter jackets everyone had?
Those Bengals jackets
And
are
I
hard.
didn't get to choose a team. My mom was like, here's a jacket. I was like, I'm rolling with the Bengals.
yeah. Yo, seriously though, those stripes, man. And then like it was the color scheme, right? So I know people who are
Black and
Steelers
orange.
fans with the
Yeah,
black and
yeah,
yellow
yeah.
or the black and
You
orange.
get beat up wearing that Steelers one, I remember, because they would want it.
And not many people become a Seahawks fan because of the colors.
No.
I'll
Nah,
tell you
guys
that.
got atrocious.
I know, especially those fucking action greens.
Yeah, the old Seahawks colors.
Oh, those silver and blues.
Those
and
new highlighter ones are just.
they're loud.
I kind of like them. They remind me of like the 90s with like the bright blue and green. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you,
can't look at it for too long.
yeah.
It
We
starts
just
to hurt my eye. I like feel bad for Russell Wilson.
Russ just needs to make sure he can see his receiver. You know, we
I guess
got
that would help. It's like a neon bolt going down the
we
field.
got a highlighter down, hook and left.
That is true.
Yeah, man. Well, welcome, dude. We wanted to get you on, and we had a couple fucking mishaps here and a COVID scare there. We pushed
man.
it and rescheduled it, and
It's the name of the game.
and now here we are, dude. So I couldn't be more excited.
It's cozy and glad I got to get here.
Hell yeah, dude. I was just listening to your guys. It's a new song with Project Kings. That's a group one that you guys all did, right?
Yep, that's an LCD track with Project Kings, and that's our member Nye's dad's band.
Yeah. And they've been around for a long time,
Oh
right?
yeah. No, I mean, you ask a couple of the older, rock guys around town, that everyone knows who they are. And we did a couple, or maybe it was just the one show, the All Age Rage, that we hopped up there. We did like 3 songs with them on stage.
Really?
To close out the night, and just kind of did it was the 3 of us, and I don't know if you've met their actual singer Hennessy before, but he's a wily motherfucker. Like
Really?
he does the whole rap rock type thing, and so it was the 3 of us and Hennessy just jumped around on stage to some metal and freestyling.
So he was on that new song.
No, he wasn't.
Okay.
I don't think he's
I think I don't know.
I don't know about all that. I don't know what he's doing.
But so it was basically the instrumentation done by them, and then you guys on the vocals.
They have like 4 songs that don't have any vocals on them,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, they kind of hit Nye up and hit us up, and we're like, "You guys want to come do vocals on this stuff?" Because we were in a band called American Heretics, a little bit farther back. Probably never heard of it. It was really, really small. We had some issues with members, but it was that style.
It's that beginning phase. What year was that when you guys started that?
Fuck.
And what? 18?
16?
17. Probably
Okay.
17. Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
So was that when you first started, or like when did you get into music?
No, I mean, I've been playing music since I picked up a guitar when I was 10, so that was I started on acoustic guitar for like 5 years. We actually, when we were younger, that was kind of our niche, was kind of that like Swayze, like I would play guitar and sing the hooks and this guy would rap during it. And, like,
When you guys were kids?
yeah, like 14, 13. Yeah, that was it.
That's so dope.
Yeah. Got us in a lot of good favors with a lot of young women at the time.
Yeah.
Another like a black and white guy playing guitar and singing together on the back porch.
Oh, that's great.
Fuck
I
no,
love
yeah,
that.
you guys were slaying them.
But
Yeah.
you do it for a little while and you're like, I want something louder. I want something bigger. I want something that's more, me. And I was a vocalist for a metal band that never went anywhere for like 2 years. And when that didn't go anywhere, I was like, fuck it. Like, we're going to start this like funk metal, like rap rock type groove. And I brought him on to kind of just, help with like throwing some verses on some tracks here and there. And it was really cool. It was fun. We actually have a music video out still that Belushi Get Down is on YouTube. You can find that. But it'll give you a taste of kind of the style that we were going for.
In the beginning.
Yeah. And it's really raw. It's really like, it's really raw.
So what's the title of the new track? Is it just LCD?
LCD
Project
MPK
Kings?
is what I think.
Yeah.
I don't think we could figure out a name.
It might have
for
been an abbreviation of like, I think he called it
LCDX Project PA.
Yeah.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
okay,
I think
I
that's
thought
the
so.
name of the
Yep,
song,
that's
yeah.
what I just saw.
And if you know our catalog with LCD too,
No,
that's
wasn't it Project Dynamics? Isn't that what the?
that was the group chat name.
Oh, okay. No. I'm mixing shit up. My bad.
No, that was how we But no, it's kind of cool because if you know our catalog, we have a song called "What Up, Joe," which we basically just took that song and put it over top of that. So to us, it's like our "What Up, Joe" metal remix type.
But that was never released, or it was?
No, it's on SoundCloud.
Oh, okay.
And it's on YouTube. We did that first EP as LCD, and we only dropped it on SoundCloud because it was all like YouTube beats and stuff like that.
Yep. Familiar with that.
I mean, we fucking
You know?
performed that shit for like 2 years. It got us kind of in the position to start our solo stuff and doing the stuff we really wanted to do, And
So, where did you guys record that track? The project?
We did that at Amplified.
Really?
Yeah.
Because that's what I thought, and I'm like really interested in the experience recording there. I've never recorded there before, but it just looks
a really
gorgeous.
Cool spot, man. It's
Yeah.
cool. I've recorded there a couple times with that metal band that never went anywhere. We recorded a single there. I recorded there with Free the Jester a whole bunch of times. And then we've been there for the Project Kings thing. And then weren't we there for
I was just thinking
like
about
a gang
that.
vocal thing with a bunch of people?
It was somebody else's
like
project.
10
but
of
yeah.
us
Oh,
all
okay.
yelling.
We've definitely
Jimmy's a
been there
really
couple
cool dude.
times.
He's got the awesome building. It's fun.
Oh yeah.
I just recently switched producers with Jester. Not out of anything. We just needed to try something new with a different pull, but I highly recommend Amplified to anyone that wants to get
What's
that.
the process like? Is it like, where it comes to the recording and then, like the mixing and the mastering? Does that all happen like right there when you're sitting there? Or?
No, you don't. None of that. You don't really see any of that.
Jimmy's genius. You kind of put your faith in that, and like,
Yeah.
I think everybody's process is different when they go into track. How I've always done it and how I've always worked when I go into any studio is, because I got a little bullshit studio at my house. I'll get the whole scratch track made, all the backing up vocals that I want, all the little bullshit effects, even if they're not like up to par. Get that all made so that when we go in, it's already mapped out. So then what it is just depending on your process and how you want to do it. What Jimmy usually likes to do is breaks it down into chunks, and like, let's just get through it one thing at a time. You might be in there tracking vocals for 4 hours. You might be sitting behind him for an hour and a half while he's clicking buttons.
Really?
Like, it just depends on the song, man. Like, I think if you were going in there doing like a simplistic, song, it wouldn't be as big of a process. But when I went in there to do metal, it was like
Because it's a full band and
Oh yeah, and everything has to be perfect, and that's what you're paying for. You know, is everything to be perfect. So you'll do like 9 takes, and Jimmy will still be like, "That was all right," but like you said, there's one word weird, so we're just gonna do it all again.
so because I do like you know. I'm used to producers who don't really do that, you know. So that's what I've always
I don't
heard.
fucking do that.
I've always heard like that Jimmy, you know, that he's got his ear on it, and if it sounds any type of weird, he'll call you out on it.
Yeah, just like get that shit out.
Whereas like a lot of people are just like, yeah, cool. Are you happy with it? Sweet, okay. Like, let's go.
No, straight up. That's how like
It's frustrating in the moment, but like you appreciate it though at the same time. It's not like you mad about it. Like,
Because you're like, you got a plaque on the fucking wall,
yeah,
and you know what you're
exactly.
doing.
Like, yeah, I'm paying a lot of money for this shit. Like,
and usually when you get it back too,
Yeah.
the actual product is just fucking tits, you know? Like
Yeah.
I've never gotten a
sounded really
product
good.
back from Jimmy that I wasn't like, this is national quality, you know, like maybe the material might not be national, but the quality of the recording is
Yes.
always.
I mean,
Oh,
I didn't know what to expect, I'll be honest. And that's what's cool. That's what I like when I go into a new movie or a new song or anything. I didn't know what to expect. I was just like, okay, they got this new song. I'm going to throw it on. And I'm in the car driving here. And it just starts going hard. It just starts fucking like rocking. I'm just like, oh, shit. Like, I didn't know if I was going to get hip hop, if I was going to like, you know, and it was really like that true blend of both. And you got the first verse, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. And I don't know. I guess I just kind of was wondering if you guys could break down kind of what the song's about. I know it was like, all I see is zombies. All I see is zombies. Some shit like that. Like, was there like a deeper meaning behind the song, or like what you guys were talking about exactly?
I mean, so yeah. I mean, in that part, like the rest of that part is M words is really dead, and it's kind of it was real. There was a whole lot of like cultural heat going on at the time.
Yeah.
When we wrote that.
Okay.
And we were kind of like talking about my meaning behind writing that was like, all I see is zombies, talking about, you know, just the pandemic of drugs and shit and all the crazy, like we're seeing literal videos of people on like, what was that shit, K2 or whatever, on the East Coast that cats was doing. Yeah, motherfuckers running headfirst in the cars and shit. Like,
Damn.
it was crazy. But so, you know, that was the reference to the zombies. And then we were saying niggas is really dead. Like, so it's
Like people are
it's kinda
dying.
Like, yeah, but like definitely, you know, black people are dying too. Like, you know, motherfuckers can be out here being zombies, but we just getting shot. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
like,
I
you
see
know what
you're
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Like, so just, you know, and the wordplay off dead people and zombies, you know what I'm saying? So
Because it was like a high energy song,
Right.
But then it felt like it was about some real shit,
right.
You know, so that was
like
cool.
I said too, that's our What Up Joe track that we just transferred onto there, and like literally for us, that track was the first one we did as LCD as a 3-piece that just fucking hit because we found this East Coast just grimy, like almost kind of like that beat's like very eerily similar to Shook Ones.
Yeah.
So it's just a hip hop beat. It wasn't over like a metal or rock or
Not
anything.
original.
And like our verses on it was like, we had this dope ass hook that he wrote that had all this meaning, and our verse was supposed to be a combative, like each one of who we are. Like, I don't know if you catch it, but we each kind of have an introduction in each of our verse of like Nye's verse, you know, I'm the jungle cat, the jaguar, Aztec warrior, you know, and like unlucky Irishman plague from birth. Like, you know, and then you come in, what's your first line in that?
What is
in
my
your
first bar in
verse?
that?
I don't know. I'm spacing it.
What up, Joe?
Well, yeah, you get the fucking hook.
I can't
What up,
remember.
Joe?
You
Pretty
caught
sure
me
you know
stuff
what's
right
good.
Yeah, no,
like,
don't even worry about it.
And my tempo is
It's worth a couple benzos, and my tempo kind of mental. You guys kind of had more of an intentional fucking, like, what's up? This is who I am.
Yeah. Like,
But I mean, we all kind of gave that impression throughout our verse.
is it something that you guys like when you do a song and you put it on Spotify and all that stuff? Is there intent to like get a video to it, or you know, is that kind of just depend on the song? And
I think
Definitely depends. Yeah,
it's
not
a group
always.
decision that we usually make. I mean, in all honesty, we haven't really put too much time into LCD in
A little bit.
a while because we've just been working on our solo stuff, trying to get that going. And
Yeah.
that's what
we
Nye
have
was
that new
saying.
track out,
Sure.
but we haven't made a music video for it yet because we're trying the new approach of like let the track run for a while and then do the music video.
Yeah.
And I love that fucking Hoop Fest track.
Nye
Yeah,
was
that's a
talking
hitter.
about how like you know, you guys kind of have established yourself as a group, and now it's like kind of wanting to be able to put a spotlight on the people in the group, so you know who the Method Man is, and in that type of analogy, right? Like, so you can really like get to know them, and then you guys can come back as the group again, and then people are like, oh yeah, okay.
Right.
And what got me excited about you and specifically was like I would just be playing me random songs, and I think all y'all are tight, but I would just like your verse would come on. I didn't know who was who, and I'd be like, oh, "Who's this?" Yeah, and they'd be like, "Oh, that's Lane." I'm just
that's
like,
the white kid.
Wait, what? What the fuck? Like, you just throw me for a loop. I'd be like, "Whoa, shit."
Yeah. I appreciate that.
Yeah, so like that was just like a natural kind of like just found it in a natural way. Because I work with Nye, so he showed me just all sorts of stuff. I loved the black and white video you guys shot.
Confidential.
Yeah, that one. Talk to me about that, when you guys shot that video and stuff like that.
That was a fun one. That was
it?
That was a long one.
Second video? What?
Yeah, that was that ended up being like a 3-week process.
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
Oh, man.
He forgot about it. So
man.
We shot the whole fucking thing. Well, not the whole thing. We shot the whole first half of the music video.
Yeah.
And it's in the middle of fucking January. And we're at this farm. It's like 7:30 at night. It's like painfully cold outside.
And we're wearing suits, like thin ass, like dress socks and shit.
So we're doing our thing with the with our videographer, and some stuff went down. We thought we got everything we needed, and then like 2 days later, he's like, "Dude, I deleted the footage on accident." So
man,
so we had to
we took time off work for this shit. Like,
so we reshot it like 2 weeks later, and then we went and we rented out. Didn't rent it. My girlfriend works at Seamus Sandwiches. I don't know if you ever.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yep.
They got a location out at Airway that's got this huge like back old rustic room that they're not using, and so we talked to the boss out there like, "Hey, can we like set a poker table up in here and like smoke a bunch of cigarettes in here and like make it look like a period piece?" And he's like, "Yeah, no, go for it."
And it did.
Oh yeah,
it really did.
I think our biggest regret with that one is we should have held on to that video to a little bit later.
Yeah, we definitely. I mean,
it in like
nobody knew who we were
because it's a dope video, but I don't feel like it gets seen enough. It's not.
It took a while. We have way more views now.
Yeah,
like
if we would have held that
later.
till like 6 months later from when we dropped it, I think it would have had a bigger
impact.
Because I love that fucking video. But
I feel like when it comes to, a lot of people who are artists that create, really good at creating, but sometimes get lost in the like how to promote it, market it, what's the best way to. I feel like that's the most complex part.
It's man,
especially when you put in $500 into the studio, and then you're buying the beat, and then you're spending however X amount of dollars on the video.
It's a lot of money.
And then it gets 200 views, and you're just like,
yeah,
what the fuck?
I'm give up. I quit.
So like, through like the process of what you guys have learned making videos, releasing songs, kind of not having a lot of views and then getting more views, like what kind of advice would you give somebody who's like starting out in music that wants to do something like that, but wants to gain a fan base in like an authentic way?
Fucking don't. Bro, this shit's so fucking hard. I don't even know if I have a like realistic response. Like, I don't know, just keep believing.
I'd say
fucking like it's a lot of hard work.
I'd say fuck yeah. I'd say get a team, man. Like we've kind of recently like learned how to even do that. Like, and we've been doing this a couple years already. Like now that we just kind of sat down. I mean, we already belong to a big group of musicians and cats that work in in the industry and shit. But it took us a longer than I care to admit to just realize like, hey, we're real tight with these cats. Like, why don't we just
start working?
Grab
together.
A couple of them and be like, this is our squad. We're all working on this. I mean, without with our own individual projects included in that, but like we're all working on this right here. Like this is our team,
and then everybody's pushing it and getting it to different eyes.
Like if we were doing that shit when we were 19, like when we really took the shit seriously, and like, hey, let's do shows. Like let's take a stab at this shit. Like we'd be leaps and bounds ahead of where we're at now. Like
start till what, like 24?
Yeah, shit. I mean, we wasted a lot of years just thinking about shit when we could have been. Just aligning ourselves with people that were already hip to it.
So that is, I feel like, amazing advice. is to align yourself with people who are doing what you're doing, because a lot of people are, you know, a lot of times there's ego in it.
Oh,
There's
for sure.
always ego. I mean,
For
we're in
sure.
hip hop, baby. There's got to be a little bit. Even if you're sitting there like, I don't give a fuck about shit, you still have to be cocky enough to pull that off of like, I really don't give a fuck about my ego. You know, there has to be a little bit.
I mean, a lot of people are just like, oh, I got it. I could do it. I don't need anybody's help and stuff
Right.
like that. And I feel like that's like the community
Exactly.
is kind of what makes it successful.
Right.
You know, I don't know any artist that is successful that doesn't have a team.
Right.
Right.
Well, and then there's also the kicker. We've experienced it a couple times. Hollywood has put it in everyone's head about all you got to do is show up, and if someone hears your rhymes, they're gonna think you're the greatest thing in the world, and that's it. And it's gone. Like, we had a cat come over to record one time, and he was just trying to tell me like, I don't have money to pay you, but like if you just get me in the booth and record it, dude, I promise you, like, it's gonna be what you want. I'm like, well, first of all, like, no, like, I'm making a living here, like, no. But second of all, like, kick me some of your shit. Like, I'll turn on a beat. We're not gonna record it. Just like spit, and then like you start going, and you know, it's nothing that hasn't already been fucking heard. And it's like, I'm not knocking any of that shit, you know, but everyone is doing shit now. Like, it's not just showing up
More
and
than ever.
rapping, man. It's everything else that goes into that. And that's with all type of music, but I think rap specific.
Yeah.
Like, you feel you're like you're dope and you kill it in your ciphers with your buddies and all this shit, but then like, then you start getting into like booking shows and start getting into like booking stuff like this, and or actually being in the booth, which anybody who does hip hop will tell you 100% is completely different.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the minute you're in that booth and it's just quiet,
It's way different.
and you gotta like,
Everything you thought you had figured out when you were doing it in the living room,
that
all of a
sounds
sudden
like
now, that hook you're singing, those notes you thought you were hitting, now sound like shit.
because it's right there.
That's
Dude.
the worst.
Just playing it back, you're like, no. Yeah.
I don't even want to make this song anymore.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people sell themselves short on wanting to get paid for their craft. I feel like hip hop is the least appreciated. It's taken the least serious. If you're not playing an instrument, if you're, you know what I mean, then it just, people don't take you as serious.
Definitely.
And like, it's time, right? Like, it's time. Like, you're putting in time. So, you know, if you're going to feature on a track, or like somebody that you're not really close with wants you to feature on a track, are you charging them to be on a track? Is it like, you know, give and take exposure type of a thing? Like, let's do this together and kind of put something out.
I mean, I haven't really asked for charging on. I featured on a couple tracks lately, and I haven't gotten that far. But me as a producer that also makes beats, what I have done is started selling my beats lately. Like,
There we go.
that's kind of where I'm looking at the money side, because like, I know what I can make if I go out and do shows. The good thing about hip hop as opposed to like doing it with the rock band is like, we can go out and make $800 for a show as a rock band, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then that's equipment that we got to move to get to wherever we're going.
Mm-hmm.
It's hotel rooms for fucking 5 guys. But I mean, obviously it's like 1 big or 2 big hotel rooms.
Still.
But then if everyone wants to get paid, you're chopping all that up.
Yeah.
But if I go out and do a solo hip hop show for $500, I mean, that's all just,
Big difference.
yeah, you know, like,
Big
and
difference.
so that's kind of where I'm at when it comes to money, like selling beats and playing shows. I'm not too worried about the feature thing. I mean, I just had 6 guys feature on my album that's coming out, and like, I didn't pay any of them, and I probably wouldn't have. I mean, it's you, it's 9, it's a couple other guys, and if someone would have been like, oh, you know, well, I need $50-$60. I also was really particular about hand choosing guys that are already kind of in our circle.
Yeah.
Instead of like outsourcing, because I think that's kind of the step with like a single or something. Like,
When it's like amongst your peers, it's kind of tough to be like,
Yeah.
hey, by the way, like,
Hey,
throw me a
pay-
couple bones
It's
for
like,
that
yeah,
shit.
like, you spit 16 bars, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
No, seriously.
But if Joe Schmo from like Seattle was like, hey, I heard your shit, bro, come feature on this, I'd be like, yeah, well, what are we talking
then there'll
about?
be some
Like,
negotiating.
you know what I'm saying? But
Because I think that's just the hardest thing in the industry. It's like a lot of times you're working for free. So the shows gotta be, that's the bread and
For
butter
sure, for
right there.
sure.
shows and merch.
yeah.
So like, how do you guys go about like booking a show? Do people call you? Do you go after it? Do you?
I mean, fuck. It's
We
like,
kind of started off like cheating that system just with our own shit. We just started our own showcase, and we're
We
just
started
like,
throwing shows.
See, I love that. I love that. So,
You
like,
know.
how does that process work? Do you kind of like hit up the venue? Do you?
a
No,
lot of footwork.
yeah.
I mean, it's kind of built off relationships. Like,
Okay.
you know, cats that have spots. Like, we didn't really go to like a legitimate venue like the Knit or
And pitch
anything.
them
Like, we
on
just
it.
went to bars that had space that we were like, okay, we could make this work. Like, there's something of a stage area here. There's enough floor room. Like, we can make this into a venue low key. Like,
And I feel like that's better because,
Yeah.
like, especially when you're starting out, something small and intimate.
people appreciate it. It's like a vibe type deal, you know? Like,
When people throw their, a show, they're like, oh, I'm gonna do a show, and then they do it at the Knit, and then, I mean, even if 40 people show up, you're
Right.
like,
this sucks.
come to the front.
Right.
Everybody's in the back and shit. It looks like nobody's there. You're like,
Right.
fuck,
we
man.
took that into consideration for marketing because I was like, if we're gonna do this, I'm gonna do like a video recap of every show. So it's like, well, if we have a small fucking room,
it's gonna look like
40
we got
people is still
fucking
gonna
100
look
people
like it's
in here.
fucking packed. So I mean,
And I feel like it does something for the audience too. Like,
yeah,
when they're kind of tightened up in the crowd and shit like that, and they're up close to you, and especially even like when you're at a place where when people are right there at the bar just getting a drink and they can still enjoy the show. Like at the Knit, it's like if you go get a drink, it's like you're
way back.
way in the back. Yeah. So
Well, and there's something to be said too about like, I mean, not all styles of hip hop, but in my opinion, just like something about a little club packed full with just rugged fucking hip hop playing at full blast. Like, there's something about that feeling of like, it's where that shit all started. Hip hop didn't start in these big ass fucking venues doing these things. It was these dingy little clubs, like like,
It's definitely a feeling of like nostalgia. Like,
Yeah. Like,
grew
you
up
feel like
watching
you're
like 8
actually
Mile
part
and
of
shit.
it.
And you're
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
like what's up, bro? We right by the stage.
or even when you just be somewhere and like it wouldn't be that many people, and then more people start kind of crowding around, and wait, what? And like ciphers
start
and all
going
that kind of
off,
stuff. Yeah, man.
We did a fucking like an hour-long cipher at one of our shows at Scoreboard that we did. They got that outdoor bar with the volleyball nets and all that shit.
Oh, Scoreboard over there in the valley. Right?
Yeah, and it was our only Valley show we've ever done, but we went over there. They paid us good money, and we did our
Shout out to
catalog, which was
Scoreboard.
like an hour and a half or something like that, and they wanted us to keep going. So I'm like, fuck it. I had my fucking computer plugged in, so we just started running beats, and we just started ciphering for like another hour.
See,
and
'cause
just
there's
making tips and shit.
Because that's where I feel like a lot of times people will get one over on you, where they, if you don't ask for the money, then they won't give it to you.
Exactly.
Kind of a
Yeah.
situation, and you're bringing entertainment to their venue.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And
And,
they're buying
drinks,
drinks,
yeah,
bro.
drinks.
Like, fuck, that bar bill is
Yep.
going up and up and up and up.
if you don't ask for a piece of that bar,
Yeah.
then they'll just take it from
Exactly, and smile on your face about it.
you. Yep.
And it's
Yep.
kind of on you. You really can't be mad about it. Like,
Well, and I feel like when artists aren't like established, or they don't have a lot of views or whatever, then
Right.
sometimes there's not the self-confidence to just be like, hey, I'm getting
sure.
hey, let me get a piece
Still
of
working. I'm
this.
still working.
yeah,
Like,
it's definitely learned. Like, you go through you eat a lot of fucking shit pie to figure that out. Like,
Yeah. And that's where, this is cool, because somebody can listen to a podcast now, and they can hear that,
Right.
and they can be like, they can get game, from
Right.
from
Yeah,
people
sure.
who
Figure it
have
out.
eaten a lot of shit pies.
Right.
And then they can, they
Sick
can,
of the taste.
They can eat less shit pies to get where they're going, learning from other people, because like what you were saying is like, oh, well, how do you, what's a good way to market it, or this or that, and you're just like, you're just like, oh, well, I would, like, you're almost like, don't do it, like it's this is a tough road.
It's a fucking headache, bro. Like,
it's not for everybody.
we're lucky that we have 2 women that put up with this shit. It's just fucking
Barely.
long nights, late nights, and some of your meetings that you have turn into like 5-6 hour drinking sessions, and like people will sit there and like, I get the whole like, oh, don't drink and talk business and do all this, but like, we've had some of our best fucking ideas at like 2 a.m. We're just like, no, dude, we should do it like this.
Halfway delirious.
Yeah,
drunk,
because you're in that mood
That's-
of like, what do I want to hear right now?
Right.
And that's what the public's in the mood of it a lot of times. You know? And like,
That's how the muses like you, is just a little comfortable, a little vulnerable,
Yeah,
That-
because you're too tight and you're thinking too much and stuff like that. A lot of the best art just comes when you're
sure.
freestyling,
Dude.
and you just freestyle. That's what we would do, man. We would do we would do fight nights. We do UFC
We just started
fights.
those actually.
yeah.
Yeah, we would have people. So we should do something like that. That'd be tight.
I'm down.
Yeah, shout out to Roy with the big ass TV.
Big old 72 or whatever the fuck that thing is. It's like a room like this big, but he's just got this giant TV and
Whole
a tiny
wall.
little couch. Like,
we
like
used to,
5 guys.
We used to do like one thing I really want to get my hands on is like a looper. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Because my buddy would bring a looper over and we would just hit the thing, and then everybody would do a noise. So it'd be like, someone do a little bass line and then pass it around somewhere. Someone would be like, wah, wah, and then add that. Somebody else would be like, doo, 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 doo. And you know what I mean? And all of a sudden you would just have this crazy beat, and then all of a sudden we're coming up with a hook to it. And all of a sudden we got this chant we're doing and this goofy hook and shit. And then we're like, whoa, this is a song. You know what I mean? So those are the moments, right?
I've never played with a looper like that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I had never either.
That make me think of you guys hip to Brother Nature.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's the king of that shit. He just get up on stage and then put a trumpet out and shit. Like,
my! So have you guys? Are you guys familiar with Live from Somewhere?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh yeah, I love those guys.
I don't know if you've seen Brother Nature's episode, but
yeah, down in the what is that thing called the pavilion? Yeah,
it is amazing, dude. And he pulls
The
out
production
that
on that
trumpet.
show is so fucking well done.
Didn't you guys do an episode
they were
on
the
that?
We were the first episode.
Yeah, that's right. Okay,
I got some popcorn and watched that shit.
Yeah, that shit's tight.
Because I know that John a little bit, just through music stuff, and so I knew it was coming out. And then I saw you guys were the first ones, and like I'd actually been following you guys before we'd met, just because you're looking up other hip hop artists in town, and like the style we're kind of into is way more close to where you're at than like a lot of this like club hoppy type stuff. Like I want to hear some
lyrics,
dope
and,
shit, And so we were already kind of following you a little bit, and I saw you guys were the first episode, and it's like, all right, babe. We threw the shit on the big screen and shit, and I've watched, I think, all the episodes of that. John M.F. Ward was just on that shit.
Bro. When you see the progression, as far as like we were in an empty lot,
dude. But that was dope, though.
Right.
That was sick.
and that doesn't even exist anymore. There's some building there now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where was that lot at?
Fuck, dude. It was like kind of downtown somewhere.
Is it like right over the bridge by what's that expensive ass seafood restaurant that like looks over the river? Anthony's. Was it one of those empty lots that they're building on now?
I don't think it is. I don't remember it being by Anthony's. It was honestly,
like Kendall Yards or no?
I don't even remember, bro.
You just showed up and spit.
Mike drove, and we just he pulled up, and it was just like an empty lot, and it was a trip. But then you see that progress to a little bit more outside stuff, but then into the Brother Nature
Fox
thing
Theater.
was like
the
Brother Nature thing was crazy because that's when just the pavilion, just like the pavilion in general, how it's changed.
Yeah, that was brand new. Like when he did that, wasn't it?
And how the lights were syncing up, and like I think there was one point in his show where his song stopped or something like that, and all the lights shut off, and it was they didn't even plan this shit. And then he goes back in, they all come back on again, they're controlling the lights, and then John does his, and it's at the Fox Theater, and you're just like, how the fuck did y'all get this?
Right.
And
if I remember right, the pavilion was just to show up and film. They didn't get any permission or nothing for that.
Really?
I'm sure.
No, yeah, they just did it, and they were just like, there's a guy that was like, no, we're supposed to be here. We're good. When people were like coming up to him, no, don't go over here. They're filming something over here.
Just put like a fucking neon vest on,
Or
and just call it Gucci.
you just ask for forgiveness, not permission.
And,
hell
and
yeah,
people,
man.
I feel like people respected the art. Like they saw that there was a real production. I mean, there was a drone coming up there. They, people are filming. Like, so when people were just going up, like, oh shit, like, I feel like people are happy to see that kind of stuff happening in Spokane
for sure,
because it's like Seattle type stuff. Like in Spokane, it's not really known for just like you're gonna go to the park and you're gonna see like a real production happening.
Right.
And those guys are doing another thing like that I've never seen anybody else in this city ever do.
Great fucking idea, the production, and even like their like post stuff. It's just done so well and fucking seamless. I really dig it. It's one of the, I actually started watching them on my lunches at work. Just throw it on while I was eating lunch when I was still at the body shop doing that shit. But we had fun. That's not the reaction we got from all the people downtown for our music video. We were walking down the street. Dude in a truck bed was just driving away from us, and he's filming, so it's all even. It's like us and like 8 dudes with like
Machetes
katanas
and
and
shit.
machetes and fucking shades, just
damn.
rolling down the street, rapping at the camera, all hooded up
Yeah.
and shit. We just have these people
We
looking
definitely
by
had to-
us like, what the fuck is going on?
Oh, I love that.
We definitely had to stick to the
We
alleyway.
did a truck bed. Something. Remember that lake road? What was that song?
Oh
you guys
yeah,
did?
yeah, great outdoors.
Yeah, and we was.
Oh, that's
No. He was sitting on the hood of the car, and I was driving.
That's
Remember?
right.
You guys were sitting in the
We
truck
were in the
bed.
bed, and he was
Yeah.
on the hood
I was-
of another car.
Yeah, I'm driving a car, and dude's sitting Indian style on the hood, and I'm just like, dude, I'll just stay right in the middle. I
brake
got
checking,
you.
bro.
Is that the joint y'all shot like out at the lake?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's the cut, man.
it's
Yeah,
crazy
that was actually out at Deer Lake. Yeah.
Okay, for sure.
And if you look at that video too, it's crazy because it was just that was like at that whatever year that was, 2018 or 17 or whatever it was. It was like, I think it was 18. It was like just peak fires everywhere. So there wasn't.
Right.
We were like, we're going to the lake, and it was just gray skies, smoke.
Damn.
And we're like, well, we're making it work. Let's
Hell
go.
yeah,
Definitely,
man,
bro.
shit.
Yeah.
Shit's
Got
kept my
camera
kid
effects for
inside
that
the
shit.
last like 3 months because of that.
Yeah.
Another
Sucks.
thing about the music thing is that it's like for me, I think of it as like legacy too.
Oh,
you know?
totally.
So where it's like I'm not thinking dollar bills and checks and
Nah,
and
but-
all this stuff. It's like this is my stuff. Like this is gonna be there forever. Like Google my
Right.
name, you're gonna find these things. My kid,
Right.
you know,
Exactly.
is gonna look at this stuff and be like, oh shit. Like you know, I can show them the music, show them
Exactly.
the videos. Like,
And it's a
this is-
piece of you too. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not like it's not like it's a home video or something that you're seeing just this is how I remember him. Like it's a piece of something inside you that you actually created and put out.
Moment
there,
of time, man.
Yeah, and I feel the same way about it, man. Like I have no desire to be the greatest fucking whatever. I do have a desire to make this a career and get my money from it, but fuck, I don't need to be the best rapper or the best punk rocker or the best
I love that.
just put me in it, bro. Like,
Yeah.
let me do what I do.
And that's
like,
probably why you're so skilled with your guys' live shows and stuff like that, because it's just a natural passion to want to do it.
oh, that's the best high in the world, bro. I've experimented with many drugs, but being on stage, bro, and in front of all those people, that's the greatest. There's a reason why you have that adrenaline rush when you come off the stage for like fucking 6 hours. It's like 2 a.m. and you're just like,
Oh yeah, you're still up. You're still off that high.
Thinking
even if it was a
about
bad show, you're sitting there
one
pissed
way or
off. You're
another,
just
yeah.
like, God.
I can't wait to get back up there
Exactly,
and,
yeah,
and get
yeah.
redemption.
Yeah.
I remember I saw a video of P. Diddy saying that these are future crackheads. You get them on stage one time, they gonna want it. They gonna want it. And then you rope people into a deal that way. You know, like because he's backdoor. Backdoor cats. So.
Yeah.
360 bills and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. They just like we just riding on their excitement
Like,
for the
this is a
stage.
legit drug,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you talk to me a little bit about the feeling you get, like the anticipation before a show? Like, do you guys get, those butterflies, get nervous, kind of like you got to take a fat shit before you get up there? Like,
Usually.
I always have to shit, bro.
Usually.
I hate it, bro. Every time, bro. I get so much anxiety before I go on stage.
I get anxiety, but not so much in the form of like the performance.
Mm-hmm.
It's more in the like, I get really and he'll attest this. I get really anal sometimes about like schedule and timing and shit. So like,
Someone's a
I
little
want
late.
the fucking day sheet. Yeah, one of the boys is like 10 minutes late, and I'm like, "Yo, where you at? Like, what's going on?" Like, and I've chilled out a little bit on that, but that's kind of where I get before shows. I get tense, and then I do start drinking. Like, I love drinking whiskey. That's my thing.
So that'll keep you.
It will, and that was a hard lesson to learn because we would like start throwing them back fucking 2 hours before the
A
show.
little too soon.
Oh,
You gotta,
no.
you
And
gotta
then you
find
get
that
up there and
chemistry.
like, I was something.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah. And so you're feeling yourself, but then you watch the game tape and you're like, I don't like this.
Have
I
you
mean-
guys been up there and like forgot some words or anything
Oh,
like that?
Yeah, I
Oh,
feel like
yeah.
I feel like every rapper has done that.
You a fucking liar if you say
Yeah,
you did.
like,
Like,
oh, for
shit.
sure.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, it gets
Like,
better, it
what?
gets easier, especially like when it really gets
Oh, boy, it sounded so
Ghostface,
phone.
son.
Oh,
Ghostface.
Ghostface
You
came
know, I was
through.
talking some truth. What was I saying?
what are we talking about? Forgetting words on stage.
Yeah, exactly.
Right now.
But no, like, it gets really cool once you like get into that moment where you're comfortable with your material enough that as it's coming up, like when it's coming up, like oh fuck, you know it like 2 lines before you are at the line that you forgot.
Yeah.
Oh, what's this next one? And then you get in that stage where you can just like freestyle out of it real quick.
Yeah.
Like,
Because that is kind of, that's a terrifying feeling.
Yeah.
oh yeah, you're like, oh, I know this next part, but I don't know the one after. Like, yeah, and then go back in.
You got to play it off.
Yeah.
And that takes a skill that you learn over time
Oh, yeah.
to like
Definitely.
freestyle through that. And if you got a hype man or someone or a crew who has
There
your
you
lyrics,
go. There you go.
like I've
That's
seen a
it.
couple times when Zach's forget his lyrics.
Oh,
But right behind
But it's
it.
funny because Mike knows his lyrics inside and out, and so
Yeah.
he'll kind of he knows he's gonna forget them, so he's
Hell
ready
yeah.
for it. So
No,
Oh,
he
bro.
seriously does, man. And I'm notorious for forgetting my lyrics, man. I've heard rappers literally tell me, "Oh, I don't need to rehearse.
Yeah.
oh my god,
I just get up there and I'm
Yeah, and
just
then how's their fucking performance?
exactly. So
I think that's I hate that.
take
shit so
take me
fucking
through
much.
like how you guys kind of plan for a show. Like, are you guys rehearsing like a couple weeks before the show, months before the show? You guys just get it in a couple days before? You practicing your verses by yourselves individually? Are you guys all getting together and
Like a little bit all of that.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
mean, we've only done 2 LCD shows in the last year.
Yeah. Definitely due to COVID.
Well, I was gonna
Yeah.
say COVID. I mean,
Yeah, and
2's
like-
pretty impressive.
You make sure that you get at least we make sure we get at least 3 solid full run throughs of the set, and like probably the week beforehand we'll meet up and
Oh, it's fresh.
Yeah,
and,
it feels
we
easier
won't
that
do
way.
it like we don't like sit down and like nitpick it either. Like it's the 3 of us drinking, smoking,
Having fun.
Yeah.
fun.
Because
like-
that's what you're gonna be doing the day of the
Exactly.
show.
Straight
Yeah.
up. We try to treat it like we're at the show.
Exactly.
Like
We get rowdy,
we'll
we
even
start
sit there and
yelling
like
and shit,
like we'll even like cover the laptop that we're fucking, running everything through and like just like make sure like we'll
really-
call each other out like look at the crowd, motherfucker. Like
yeah,
head up.
Act like there's a crowd there.
yeah, you know what I
And then
mean?
you guys
Like
got the fucking, you got the remote.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, we'll
I mean, we
actually
have live
mic
mics.
up.
We'll
mic up
we'll
and
plug
do
into
it
a
through PA.
yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Man, you're an artist. There's something about hearing your voice back
Definitely.
that like
That you have to practice.
if you don't
like,
if you're not ready for that when you go back on, you're like, hey, and you're like, whoa, like, it don't feel right,
I'm sure you guys have done a show without monitors and stuff like
yeah.
that, where
Oh, yeah.
you're up there and you can't even really hear yourself.
yeah, so you're
It's-
just kind of just winging
you're
it.
too loud, you're too low, you're too, like,
Sure.
It's definitely part of the talent is adjusting to your environment on depending on the stage and the venue and the sound that you're getting. Like,
we've definitely found that like approaching the sound guy and giving him a blunt. Or
Yeah.
bite-
shout out to all the
Hell
sound guys.
yeah. Y'all are the man.
There's nothing worse than being like getting off stage and being like, man, how did the sound? And they'd be like, it seemed like you were loud. You're like, I felt like I was screaming.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's
And
what
they're
happens
just- yeah,
when you
it's
don't
like,
have
damn.
monitors and you cannot hear yourself. You overcompensate, just
Oh,
getting
yeah.
louder. And now, when you're on the record doing it, you're cool, calm, and collected,
Exactly.
and you're rapping, right? And then when you're on stage and you feel like you have to overcompensate, it's like you're in a yelling voice,
Right.
and the veins coming out your neck, and this
Yeah.
is not how you're doing it
Yeah.
in the studio.
Yeah.
So the crowd is literally getting a different experience, which can
Exactly.
be good, but then also
It takes the whole vibe out of what you
take the vibe out of it,
you know
what
what
you're
I'm
trying to
saying?
deliver.
Exactly.
For me, it's I totally agree, and I just have certain songs that I like performing live more than the record, just because my rock side comes out.
You're like,
'Cause-
this is a live show. This
Yeah, I
is a
like
live-
to sometimes. I like to yell that verse and put the stank on it. Like I wouldn't put it on the fucking album.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like when we're doing Jester stuff. Like we have the tracks and everything recorded how we want it, but we also vary stuff for the live performance because some stuff that would sound good live doesn't necessarily sound good on the record. Like
Oh, okay.
it's a weird thing to say, but like some corny
that's
stuff
true,
that
though,
you would
yeah.
never put on the record, you're gonna do live.
And it
because
sounds
the
great
people
live.
You got
figure
to
it out,
keep a degree of separation too, just because like we got to sell this shit. Like we live in this internet era where like if I put my shit out, it's essentially it's free to you. Like you know what I mean? Like you have access to the music.
Yeah.
So if I'm not doing something a little bit different, then why the fuck are you gonna buy a ticket to my show? Like
show. No.
that is
You know
that
what
is
I
a
mean?
very
Make it a
good
special
point.
moment. For
yeah,
it.
like I mean, I'm not saying just
CCB is the
change your
fucking
act
king
or
of that
nothing,
shit.
but yeah, man, you gotta keep some degree of separation there. Like we do it a little different. You paid for this one. You came out tonight.
love
You're
that.
looking at me like
You see, like a lot of times, back when, especially back when if you just starting out or something like that, and you go to local shows and stuff, it almost feels like a talent show or something like that. Or people are just doing, song, jump off stage.
Done.
Rather than,
performance.
having some character in there, talking to the crowd, getting
A shared experience.
a shared experience, because really it's not all about us. Right, it's about the people that we're entertaining.
Yeah.
For sure.
We're doing a job when you're up there, and like just because we love it doesn't mean that you can't half-ass it. Like
Exactly.
And I think what you said was perfect there. It's kind of like a talent show when you watch some of the guys get up there and do their thing. Like even us, I've sat down, I've changed up how my performance. Now I do everything on one track. I don't have multiple tracks. It's all one long track. I have timed out slots for talking to people. So to me,
that's the way to go. Yeah,
man, my start time and end time, I know exactly where it's at. I have enough confidence in myself that if I fumble up, I'm not going to get lost. And like,
it kind of forces you to do crowd work too.
It does.
You know
and like
you
put those empty spots in there so you know exactly, and then you'll have your intro come in at the right moments. Okay, this is when I need to stop talking.
And that's where those rehearsals are so crucial, so you know what comes in. And one thing that really worked for us that we found to add into the show is. Because you got to have some uniqueness, right? Something that people haven't seen before.
Definitely.
And so one thing that we do when we're on stage that people look forward to when they come to one of our shows is, we break in the middle of the set and we do an out the bag freestyle. So
we saw that.
Have you seen that?
We did. We were supposed. I'm sorry, not to cut you. No, we were. It's crazy because we all should have had a show together, but we actually just did it with Laszlo. Yeah. Oslo, I said Laszlo.
Yeah.
But no, it was that the last Bad Penmanship show that they did at the, you know what I'm talking about? And he did that. He still did it without you even. Man, we were all about, I was like, this shit is tight. We got to do something like this.
Because like how it really works too is like the thing that adds to it is like, because I don't know how Mike did it at that show, but how we usually do it is like he has no idea what's in the bag.
Right.
And I literally go to Value Village or wherever, and I just start the most random shit that I
so
can
it's like
possibly think
a
of.
thing between y'all two.
Got this bag.
That's tight.
Zach's trying to choke him up every time. He's trying to get him.
Okay.
He just can't be phased at all. He's like,
that's tight.
Because if he even just says the word and there's nothing to rhyme with it, then he's picking you out the crowd and it just forces you to take it in a different direction. And I mean, I'm telling you, when you're rapping about somebody in the crowd, they're like,
well, now they're part of the show now.
This is something that's unplanned. Now they know that this is something that is specifically unique to this show specifically.
Yeah, that causes that memory. They'll always be like, I remember that shit.
Yeah, that make you feel good. That make you get excited when somebody come back to town. You're like, oh man, you remember last time we went to that show, bro?
That's right.
That shit's cool, man.
Yeah, talk to me a little bit about Free the Jester. Like, was this after your guys' group with hip hop, or was this before? Like, how'd you meet these guys and get into this?
So their lead guitar, our lead guitarist Matty, he's a fucking animal. He was in that metal band that I had brought up that didn't go anywhere. We were kind of playing in the basement. Amazing guitarist. He started playing with these guys, Willie and Camo, and I think the drummer was like Riley at the time, but they were doing a country cover band just to make money and meet girls, because this is Spokane, Washington.
Had plenty of gigs doing that.
Oh yeah.
So they're doing that, and then Matty's a giant metalhead, and so he's like, well, like, how'd you guys feel about just upticking it to like some punk stuff, like pop punk? So Camo's all about that, and they're like, yeah, so they do that, and they create Free the Jester like six or 7 years ago, and I was close with them because I would go to the shows with Matty. My girlfriend actually worked with my bassist for like 3 years at Locals Canna House. That's kind of how I gotten in with her, was because he was sitting there talking me up to her a little bit. Okay. So I was really close friends with them, and we were doing the Heretics thing. We just started the LCD thing, and they were looking for a guy to come in and just change stuff up, write different kinds of music, get it kind of away from the punk and a little more modern, and bring some more heaviness into it. And they took me out to dinner and sat me down. They were like, we want to bring you in, and this is what we expect of you, or they're pretty everything's business.
Pretty organized with what they do.
And it's amazing. I love it because, it takes a lot off my shoulders. Camo and Willie are gods. They do a lot of the backdoor stuff that I don't
Willy
have to
Woo
worry about.
Sticks.
Willy Woo Sticks.
That's right. Yeah, okay,
That's
I
the
know him.
man,
Yeah, he's cool as hell.
But yeah, just started playing with them, you know, writing new songs with them and hitting the road with them, and it's given me an outlet to do my. I think it's actually made me flourish a little bit more in my hip hop because now I have a serious outlet for my rock stuff. Instead of trying to blend it all together and push it out, now I get to like separate it a little bit.
Dude,
so
that's cool.
I think it's definitely, especially with this new album coming out, like I'm so fucking proud of where I am with it that I think that definitely is a direct correlation of like I'm not trying to force my rock side into
your hip hop.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So you have an outlet to do the rock, so that way you can really just focus on hip hop.
Exactly.
And have separate the two.
It doesn't help. I mean, it doesn't hurt with the, you know, like the Thanksgiving throwdowns, the 1,200 people.
Oh, I bet.
That's a nice. Yeah. That does it for you. We opened for one like 2 years ago. They had us on the open. No, LCD.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
yeah, that's right.
Fuck, dude. I mean, it's cool to see like 300 or 400 people in the crowd, but once you break even just 1,000, and it's just everyone.
Bro, I've never performed for 1,000 people in my life.
It's
never.
Weird.
Oh, I bet,
awesome.
bro. I bet. What are some of your guys' like main influences, like when it comes to like what were you listening to when you guys were young that kind of inspired you to wanna, that kind of formed how you rap now? Let's just go hip hop.
Just hip hop.
Okay, yeah,
I'm still gonna say
that's a weird conversation between the two of us.
I'm still gonna say Rage Against the Machine because
Definitely,
that's
Hell
like the biggest influence on me musically at all, and that has hip hop influence. But like,
and it comes across in our music too. Like we love that shit. Like
fucking grimy, just Zach De La Roca, just fucking.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that,
like,
dude.
But I mean, hip hop wise, we kind of linked really well because we're both super into that East Coast kind of feel. I mean, I'm a little bit more like locked in it. He's pretty more open minded about shit, but I'm like, if you plug in my Pandora, dude, it's East Coast hip hop. That's what we're getting. Like,
body healthy.
You just don't see that a lot. You don't see a lot of cats from Spokane that have a lot of East Coast influence.
If you know the fucking, but if you know like
it's the bird,
the history, if you know the history of where it all came from and what it started as, like, and plus I'm just really into like the fusion of the jazz and swing sound as opposed to like the heavy synthesizer like bounce that a lot of West Coasty and like even down south stuff has, you know, like it's just something about that fucking bass and kick, grimy fucking
that shook ones, that
that's hip hop
shit that makes you want to freestyle.
Exactly. That's what we've always been heads. Like I think that's what drew us to it. It's just because we've always been like lyrical heads.
Yeah, because we were like fucking in 6th grade, like, oh, you like Wu-Tang?
Yeah, like, and all these other fucking little Valley kids looking at us like, who the fuck is Wu-Tang? Like, what? Y'all are weird.
So I'm guessing, obviously, Wu-Tang is one of the
definitely a big influence.
Wu-Tang. I mean, pretty much everyone from that, like Wu-Tang, Nas, fucking.
Have you guys been in New York?
I've been there once.
Dope.
I hated it.
Did you really?
Okay.
Were you making music at the time yet, or no?
Yeah, no. This was like 3 years ago, and the reason why I hated it was because I was there for a night, and then we were basically on the East Coast, and we went to a bunch of different. You can basically drive between states because everything's so close right there. And so we were just in New York for the night, and we stayed right in the middle of Times Square.
Oh, okay.
And like, my girlfriend's mom was driving us through New York. Mm-hmm. And it is the most hectic, crazy shit driving through. And she's driving.
And so you're almost stressed out.
Bro, I'm like white knuckled in the back seat. Like, and then we get out of the fucking car and it's Times Square. And like, you don't think about it, but like, that shit's body to body, dude.
Yeah.
And then I dip into like a bodega thinking that I can like get a breath. And like, even their aisles in the stores were like
smaller.
It's like, I'm having problems breathing here, and like we ended up. It was cool. I told myself, and Willie will hate me for this because he corrects me every time. He's like, "You'll love New York if you go with me
to the right place. He'll take you to the
but like,
not
I'm not going back unless I got something to do. Because all we did was fucking walk around Times Square, which was cool. But after an hour, you're just like,
you gotta be there.
Everyone's touching me. Fucking,
and there's something about like going somewhere. I mean, I've took some family vacations too, and there's something about like being somewhere you want to be, but like, you know, you might want to go do something, but you've got all this
baggage.
I want to say it like that.
Like it's almost like damn, bro. Like I want to go. Yeah, I want to go to a bodega and just like meet random people and do that. So yeah, I feel you there.
I'd be down to go back with Willie. I think if we went back with Willie,
We gotta go take a trip. He literally said that to us last time we all kicked it. He was like, "No, I want to take you two specifically to New York with me. Like that'd be cool."
He grew up there. He knows exactly where.
Yeah, he's a little
homies there and
Manhattan
shit,
kid.
so
Like,
yeah.
I would
That's dope.
definitely love to do that again. But I mean, I will say from after like being there just for the one night and like seeing the architecture, seeing how it like that whole concrete jungle thing is no lie. Like that's fucking real.
It's a real concrete.
You can't see anything but the sky.
I just thought of someone who's from this area that did a lot of music in New York. You know Aaron Cohen? Have you guys heard of Aaron Cohen? You know who Aaron Cohen is, right?
It's not familiar.
Yeah. He was doing hella shows in New York, and I mean, you could tell.
He looks like he's from New York.
He straight up took the image, and he was just like, you could just tell he fit right into that shit. But yeah, you guys have to check him out, man. He's hella tight.
If you guys had to say like top 3 rappers right now,
Right now?
like if you're going to Spotify and you're listening,
There's so many now, but I got you. I'll give you 3. I'm gonna hit you with the zingers. These cats that I just been I've been like on a like quest. I feel like since the beginning of like the first year of COVID, just to find new music. Cause like we are kind of old heads like that. Like we kind of set in our ways with music. Like I'll go play a fucking old Wu album or. You know,
so you gotta force yourself to branch out a little bit.
Ready to die.
So here we go. I got you.
Love that album.
All right, number 1, and this is like an ever changing list, right? But currently, Mick Jenkins, that's my guy, yo. Mick Jenkins,
That
right?
voice.
Man, it's so and his concepts are like not normal. Like
Talking all that
he
jazz.
got a lot of obscure shit, right?
Yeah.
Mick Jenkins. Isaiah Rashad has been up in there forever.
Yeah.
I'm pissed. I got sick and thought I might have had COVID.
Say, he was just here.
He
the
just
show.
came. I had tickets. I had to fucking give them off, man.
Damn.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, the net has all those new restrictions with COVID and shit, and I was like, I was convinced I had COVID. Negative tests. By
Good
the
on
way.
you though. Good on you for doing the right
But
thing.
you know what I'm saying. I got a baby on the way right now, so I'm just kind of extra critical about that kind of shit. Like,
Congratulations, man.
let me not fuck around and go give the whole world COVID. Like, you know what I'm saying. But so Isaiah Rashad, Mick Jenkins. Who's the third guy? This new cat. Who is that cat? Is IDK. He's like a fucking producer artist type cat.
Okay, I think,
you know what I'm saying? He's got a
about,
couple new cuts. They're fucking like kind of obscure, but they're just
need
ill.
to jump
He
in.
reminds me of Kanye, like early Kanye West, just hefty.
God, I love early
Like
Kanye.
hefty. Oh, I'm just an immortal Kanye West fan. Like nobody could speak ill on that man's name to me.
So
like,
before we get to your 3, how do you feel about the new album?
oh man, it took. Okay, I'll say this first. It took me to. So I started a new job on a graveyard shift, right?
Okay.
So it's like my new. I'm like
vampire now.
I feel like a fucking night monster.
You
like
woke up like 3 hours ago.
it takes. Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
I'm a weirdo, bro. Like I have.
You got off
No.
at what, 6 last night? Or
Yeah,
6
it
this
just
morning?
fucks with every aspect of your life because you don't get a social life no more. Like.
You just work, sleep.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I have my couple hours I get to be awake and shit, but nobody else is fucking
True.
You know what I'm saying?
You're not
Like,
on
I'm
the
just
same
up by my
page as
lonely.
everybody else.
Yeah. So anyway, like, it's made it weird to do shit like that because I've always notoriously like just beat off, like found an album found an album I was trying to beat.
Notoriously just beat off, bro.
Found an album I was trying to play and just beat it out through the work shift, like you know,
Yeah.
and I play the whole album front to back, like okay, like I'm
You
a
actually have that time. to
yeah,
just let
and
it
you can
play.
actually get the feel for the album like as a project. You know what I'm
Because
saying?
that's how an album is supposed to be listened
Exactly,
to. Not skipped
exactly.
around,
Like I
pick and
hate
choose.
all this new like fucking we're gonna just put 2 singles out and like
They
fuck the rest of these
put
tracks.
it in order for a reason.
Exactly. Like I've listened to a couple albums where I cut the shit off because I was like, you didn't fucking put this together. You just put the singles out and we're like, here's a couple more for you. Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I want that curated. Like I want a little piece of the artist's mind.
Respect that.
You know
Respect
what I'm
that.
saying?
Yep.
Like, so anyway, all that being said, I say that to say this, right? It took me 2 sessions to listen to it. So it was kind of, I don't know, man. Like I got all the Kanye shit that I wanted, right? But just the sound wasn't, I don't know. He's just evolving. Like it's hard. I still am in love with that early Kanye, like that dropout Kanye. You know what I'm saying?
People
that
are
young man
tired of
angst,
hearing me
like,
say that.
You know what I'm saying? It's hard because it's fucking annoying. I'm sick of hearing myself say it, but like,
I mean, I love Spaceship.
you know what I'm
I love
saying,
Getting
bro?
High.
Like, it's. I think the one thing lost is just that young man's like hunger that he had at the
That's
time.
what
Like,
it is for all the artists.
you know
I
what
feel
I'm
like.
saying?
That's what
Like,
it is. When you're not there yet and you're proving yourself.
you know what I'm
then
saying?
it's
That's where we're all at. That's why we all identify.
Straight
with
up.
that,
And then when you got
know?
fucking 3 mansions and fucking billions of dollars,
and
like,
you
I mean,
Yeezus now, like fuck, man. Like I love it, but I can't relate to that
I mean,
shit.
Kanye
Like
West is worth $1 billion.
straight up, bro. Like and broken back 3 times over. Like
Yeah.
shit.
Best thing of his career that he's ever done was that PBS interview.
Which one? Oh, the fucking George
Bush.
Bush.
Not like
Oh
that.
my God.
Getting
Yeah.
Chris Tucker caught off guard.
That was the best part.
Greatest move of his career ever.
Wasn't it him and Michael Myers?
Michael Myers.
It was Mike Myers. I had Michael Myers.
This is
I mean,
the
it's
perfect
Halloween.
combination of
He says it
comedians.
so
Like, yeah.
He just goes,
George Bush. And he's doing the Kanye like.
Yeah,
Serious. Hard
his
face.
face is just
Which
straight.
is super Chicago. Like my whole family's from Chicago. Like that's the most Chicago
Really?
shit. Oh yeah.
that's awesome, man.
Well, my whole father's side, but yeah.
Oh. But you got top 3 rappers right now. Jump into the Spotify. If we're hopping in the car, we're going on a road trip.
I'm pretty niched because I have.
And it can be
multiple
old. It can be. It doesn't have to be a new artist.
They're not old. Yeah, they're definitely.
got,
One of
Flynn?
them's older, but like I just
You want some more of this whiskey?
I just poured some. By being involved with this many projects, like a lot of times when I'm listening to music, it's either I'm proofing like a mix of my own stuff or
Yeah.
somebody else's stuff, or I'm writing. So I do have some guys that I listen to, but I kind of just stick with them. I'm not really kind of how he was doing, like looking for new stuff. So I'm really into JID right now. He's one of my favorites around. Like he got me into him, and then he
maniac,
got.
bro.
Whenever we get drunk, he gets pissed off at me. So it's like, why you always turn this cat on?
Yeah.
Dude? Like, I love that shit. Oh yeah.
Okay.
What he likes, he's like, I don't care. I like it.
Yeah, no, that shit's tight. I fuck with JID, and I mean to go along with that, he got me really heavy into J. Cole, which his new album, I think, don't hate me, but just smoked that Kanye album. Like,
So you weren't. So you weren't the
I
big.
can't disagree.
So you weren't the biggest J. Cole fan, and then kind
you
of.
know, I liked him, and this motherfucker beat me over the head with him for like
You gotta,
years, and I just
you gotta understand, like, when we first met each other, like he wasn't like non-familiar to hip hop at all, but like
all
he was
old
like
stuff.
kind of a metalhead, and I was like this crazy little hip hop head, and we
Yeah.
kind of like it was kind of like a meeting of two worlds, like you know what I mean, and we mixed real well, and that's when we started off with that early, you know, like acoustic rap shit we were talking about earlier, like. And
so
we've
my
had
hip
that,
hop
and that's
background was like
developed over
older
time.
cats.
And like we started, like even before we had this hip hop group, we had our little like rock rap infusion shit, that Heretics project, and then we just were like, let's just do a hip hop project. Like that kind of fell apart and didn't get off the ground. We're like, okay. And since then, like our musical tastes have definitely enveloped like that. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
before it wasn't like that. Like we didn't have that shared taste. We would just show each other shit like from different genres, and we'd be like, oh, that's ill, bro. Like okay.
He would just show me J. Cole, and at the time, it was when J. Cole was like just getting big. So the only real J. Cole things I was hearing were his radio cuts, which are still amazing songs and are awesome. But I just was like, it's not my guy. And then like 2 years ago, dude, I just said fuck it because I was working at that body shop, and that's what I would do. I'd either be listening to Audible, listening to a book, or listening to music. I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna run this cat's whole fucking catalog, and I'm just.
Right there,
I
that's
haven't
when
even. Dude, that's the king right now. I don't care what anybody says. That album actually just won Lyricist of the Year or some shit like that.
Yeah,
dude.
Bro, when J. Cole went from just clean cut J. Cole to just dreads,
What is he saying
he
that
don't give a
song?
fuck.
That
That's when the
song,
music got
he's
way
like,
better.
why does J. Cole always look like he's about to ask you to borrow your charger? Let me get your charge, bro. Just let me get like 10%.
That's hella funny.
So JID,
J. Cole. And I'm going to say something that's probably a little off. I think hip hop is like you have to have your guys that are good lyricists and everything, but also you're creating a vibe. And so like I was guilty of it for a while, of like talking shit on like guys that aren't super lyrical but just make hyphy stuff because I was lyrical. So I was like, oh, that's fucking trash. But then like when I'm fucked up at the bar, I'm like, no, turn that shit on.
Yeah, you start
So
appreciating there's a time and place.
Yeah.
I'm really
exactly.
digging like that new Jack Harlow stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
That shit's
mean, you
been
know,
fire.
that
yeah.
shit
that
is
shit
pretty
gets me
hot,
so
man.
pumped up. Like, he's got a line in there. He's like, showed up to the part, or like 5 white boys and they're not in sync. And I'm just like,
Oh, that
Dude.
that Tyler, fuck, what was that dude?
Tyler Hero or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. That song. I don't know if you've heard Warsaw. That's another song. Like if you ever hear that one from Jack Harlow too, that one just
banger. I
bounces,
listened to that on the
bro.
way home.
Yeah, he's definitely got just a natural bounce to him.
Yeah.
That vibe, yeah.
What about you, Cody? Do you have
Top-
3?
What, 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. What am I listening to a lot? I'd say who's my man that I put you on a long time ago?
Rex Life Raj.
Rex Life Raj hit that. You know, the three tracks that we would always be bumping back in the day.
Which is crazy because he's just never misses.
Never misses.
Never misses,
And
ever.
the beats have been super fire and shit. Let's see.
What's the name?
Rex Life Raj, and he's from Berkeley, California.
Oh,
and
shit.
bro,
Okay, I
and
know
he
you'd
is,
probably just be like,
bro. You guys should check him out. Yeah, he's amazing.
that's good.
He's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yep. Let me see what else have been bumping lately. Shit, I'm drawing kind of a blank. Caught me off guard.
I like it.
I've been podcasting a lot lately, so
Not
it'd be-
listening
it would,
to
it
a
would
lot?
Be, yeah, I haven't been too. I've been trying to sharpen my skills up, you know. So
Get a bigger vocabulary.
I can give you my 3 right now.
No, sure.
Off top. So, my first one is Loot. I don't know if you guys know who he is. He just dropped an album. He's on Dreamville.
oh man, Dreamville's
Yeah.
Yeah, Dreamville doesn't miss.
And it's
so.
Loot, Lute. If you guys haven't heard
I've
him,
heard him off of that documentary that they did. I think that's all.
dude, that documentary was crazy.
shit was off the
It was
Oh,
so
I gotta
crazy.
add one more of mine right in the middle,
What?
buddy.
But oh my!
Did I
God.
steal one of yours?
No, I didn't even think about
Okay,
it. But Buddy also never misses.
Never
ever.
miss. And I love it, like, because I'll just be listening to like a playlist on Spotify, and it'll be a track I never heard, and I'll be like, man, that's Buddy right there. You know what I mean? And you look it up, there he is. So.
I have to say Anderson .Paak.
Oh yeah,
the drummer boy.
Just because it's just the versatility of being able to drum and rap, and then what he's got going on with Bruno, just like the ability to do all these different.
Yeah, we want
types of
that.
music.
We want that Slick Sonic album now.
Yeah, I actually just saw it. It's November 12th.
Oh, they dropped it.
Coming out.
Okay,
It's coming out November
we got a
12th.
date.
Yeah.
So it looks like there's going to be a bunch of babies being born in what? What's
I'm-
9 months from November?
Bro, I'm telling you,
That's baby making
leave the
music.
door open.
Mine's doing November too.
Leave the
Shit.
door open.
No, I'm
Make
saying
some
when that
babies.
album drops, bam, we're going to have
Oh,
babies in
making
9
babies.
months.
Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, making babies! I'm
Gonna
telling
see
you.
some babies coming around in
That
springtime.
I'ma leave the door open.
Oh, and then I got my third from around here that actually was this
Around
heating
here?
up. Yeah, well, from around this area. It's Travis Thompson, man.
Oh yeah, that's
Bro,
the boy,
I mean,
man.
like these
Shouts
are,
to
this
Travis
is stuff
Thompson.
that like it's just been sneaking in my ear.
Right,
It's like,
right.
That fucking mobbing song.
holy
fucking
fucking shit, bro.
I've been meaning to go see him live, like
Bro.
meaning to.
And
love
I mean,
it when
all
it's-
that. I mean, he's got.
You know
not
who
to
put
mention,
me-
he's got some good names on there on that little project he put out.
For damn
G-Eazy's
sure.
on one.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
He's man, we needed a little Seattle boy to blow up, man. It's been a
Yeah.
hot
It
minute.
looks nice. It
I
looks
ain't
really
liked
nice.
nobody that came out of Seattle since fucking like Blue Scholars.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Man, like shit.
Yeah, or
Blue Scholars
Macklemore.
always
Funny,
make-
yeah.
Macklemore, Ryan Lewis. Shouts to Ryan Lewis.
And if you really think about it, hey, if you guys really want to know, it's like Travis Thompson, like Macklemore, basically made like he put together like a school, like a program for people who wanted to.
No shit, huh?
That's
Yeah.
right.
And
Travis Thompson came out of that
And
school.
he came out of that
What?
school,
Yep.
and Macklemore.
Let me stop hating on Macklemore. My bad.
And Macklemore brought him on tour.
Yep.
And then ever since then, just
Skyrocket.
Like that. So
That's tight. I
it's
didn't
just
even
cool
know
to
that.
see people give back to the city and then to bring people
Yeah.
on and not just be so selfish. I don't know if you guys know or if you've heard of Sir.
I've heard of
Oh
Sir.
yeah,
I
yeah,
fuck
yeah.
with Sir
You put me on
I
Sir
love
too.
Yeah, that's
Sir.
cat off of Top Dog, right?
Top Dog.
Yeah,
right there.
okay,
You know,
yeah.
John Redcorn.
Oh
You
my
guys
god,
have heard
I was
that
just
song?
thinking of that, yeah.
You guys seen the video with the King of the Hill video?
Yeah,
Look,
that's the cut, man.
there's a lot of good music out there, man, and it's crazy because everything used to be it used to be more special, whether it was a movie, whether it was an album, because you'd have to go to Blockbuster.
Yeah, you had to do some footwork
and
to
you can
get
only
to it.
get
Like,
house.
Yeah, and your
Just
mom's
in
like, you
general.
can get 2, and you're just
yeah.
like, you got all these movies, you can get 2, rather than you're on Netflix, just
I never really experienced like overload
Like
until we had like cell phones and shit. Like just that pocket access. You know what I mean? Like I think it was probably healthier for us as like humans to have to go to fucking Sam Goody or like.
And an album, like it meant something because you went there, you spent $14 on it. You came home, you unwrapped it, you put it in.
Sometimes I had a little postage and put up and shit.
And speaking back to Macklemore, you guys remember when he rolled out that gold album and he was like, we got to get back to this, and he was like, and the disc was all put together. I do remember that, and I was like, damn, he's right though. Right. You know what I mean? We were getting away.
It just
from
meant something. Like you really would put it on and you would listen to every song, you know. And now it's just too much. Like you said, it's overload. Right. And like, you know, if somebody was really good, it was like a better chance you knew who they were.
Exactly.
Whereas now there's
people
just
have
so
more, like,
many
intricate relationships with an artist. Like,
like
this is my guy. Fuck with this dude. Like, if this album drops, not only do I know 6 months before it drops, like I pre-ordered the shit. Like,
And I mean, then they were selling albums, so it was also it was harder to be an artist, I feel like, to kind of do it yourself.
Yeah, because you have to curate a whole fucking I mean, that's one of the reasons why I decided with this next going forward was to do an album, even when everyone is telling you, you know, singles are where it's at.
Bring this up a little bit, would you?
When everyone was telling you, you know, singles are where it's at, you know, it's a singles type of, you know, game that we're in now. Like, I was like, fuck that. I want to put together an album as a base, you know, that people can go back to. And it's 14 tracks long. It's a fucking album. It's there. And then it's going to switch to singles because I feel like that's what the single's for. Like, you do the album and then you do the singles in between your next, like, project. Like,
sure.
And so I made it a point, like, I'm doing a fucking album. And, like, I have had a couple people even within the crew, like, you sure you don't? You got like 14 songs here. You could release a single every month for the next like year and a half. Like,
well, I think it's just this attention span. I think it's this ADHD that we've developed over, or ADD that we've developed just over having too many options. And now when you get an album on Spotify or something like that, you're listening to 20 seconds. Right. And you're like, skip. Okay, what was the next one? Oh, if it doesn't hit right off the bat, then it's like just when you had an album, it's like you bought it and you had it, and then it was like you put it in the player and you lit, you know, and
stayed in there for a while.
It stayed in there. You remember if you guys have ever drove around with a CD that got stuck in there?
Yep.
Oh man. I guess we jamming it in.
Yeah. Like, bro, you get so used to it. You're like, just skip to 7, bro. Like, I don't want to hear this shit, bro.
They did that with a CarMax commercial. They were like doing like having a hard time selling your car because it like said 3 things wrong with it, and then the last thing was like, and the Limp Bizkit CD is stuck in and won't start playing, and it's Fender. It's like, it's like, we're CarMax, we can sell that for you any day. And then they sell it to some dude with a backwards red hat on, and he's just driving around rocking to it.
It's like it's stuck in there.
Yeah. What do you guys use for like listening to music? Do you use Spotify? Do you use Apple?
Spotify and YouTube. I still haven't paid for Spotify. I'm
you lacking, bro. You gotta.
I know. I'm a caveman, dude. I just got internet like fucking 3 months.
I was just gonna say, when did you guys get weaned off of Pandora radio?
I never really went for Pandora.
I like
actually, you know what? Mine was when I found out that Spotify has its own version of Pandora.
Where you can,
the radio.
You know what I'm saying? Then I was like, oh, what the fuck do I have this app for? It's taking all my data and shit.
Well, my buddy was kind of pitching me on it and stuff, and I was like, okay. But then when it was like, oh no, you can, any album you can possibly think of ever, you can go listen to any song anytime
in a moment.
You can just go to that song. If you can think of a song you used to listen to in high school, you can go back, get on Spotify, find that song and listen to it.
And you can download and go offline with your shit. So like that was the fucking zinger for me. Like, okay,
that's just us who pay for it.
Sorry for you peasants over here.
My girl got to pay the count.
You got to pay the count though.
Shit, he does, because that is what changed it for me.
Imagine if that's how Netflix was. Imagine if it's like, I don't pay for it. I just got to hit shuffle, and then we're watching, something just comes on.
Oh, they'd still get hella hits.
Hell yeah.
People shuffle.
I guess we watching Squid Game.
Right.
Okay.
Have y'all tried to watch that shit?
I haven't watched it yet.
Man,
every time I'm
trying to make myself.
I'm like, babe, you want to watch it? She's like, I just don't know if I'm ready yet.
It's like, I'm not like, I like weird, like foreign, like shows like that. Not necessarily shows, more movies.
Have you seen Parasite?
That was you took the shit out of my mouth.
Parasite. I almost watched that last night. Actually.
It is a fucking
I was hammered
trip.
and I was looking
like,
at
there's
it. I was
some
like,
Korean directors that are
sober, dude.
There's another one that me and my buddy. Do you guys know Kyle Carpino? He's a tattoo artist at Anchored Art downtown. That's one of my other like real tight buddies. We all kind of go way back. Oh, I'm sorry. No, we all kind of go way back in the same direction, right? But he put me onto this movie called Old Boy.
Oh yes.
You know what I'm talking about, bro? Like I don't think it's Korean, but it's it's Asian market type shit, right?
Yep.
Just crazy like cult gritty shit.
Yep.
I think they made an American version with fucking.
I've seen them both, and it's definitely
the
like,
Asian version
original is
trumps, bro.
way better.
Trumps.
Okay, you and Mike were talking about that, I think, with the
It's
subtitles,
crazy.
right?
It's crazy.
It's
Well, I think we might have been talking about Parasite.
Oh, okay.
And that won a bunch of awards and stuff like that.
Parasite's dope too. Don't get me
It's
wrong.
just
but-
crazy. Like you do have to, and like I think movies is another thing that is just. It's an art, and you got to be in a right state of mind to be able to absorb that art. And it's the same thing. Like you're not gonna fucking put on a movie and then start skipping to the best parts of the movie.
I don't even like this scene, bro. Like,
You have to sit there through the
Watch the
plot
whole
development
Straight
and the
up.
slow parts.
You got to kind of commit yourself to it.
You have to
like,
commit yourself, just like an album. You have to put on. You gotta, what
Straight
happened
up.
to fucking skits and
Man,
things like that?
bruh.
You know, I mean, Eminem really
Intros.
would hit you with these crazy skits
Right.
and these like voices and these
Right.
weird things. And Dr. Dre would hit you with these. I mean, people
That's
were
what
just getting. People was just having orgies and shit.
Bro,
and it's just skits and
Wu-Tang
shit.
had the best skits. We all know.
Wu-Tang had some crazy ass.
Yeah, they did. They had some funny
Where my killer teeth at, bro?
stick the screwdriver in you.
I'm gonna sew your asshole shut. Feeding you.
You're like, what? What?
It was hilarious.
You know who is slept on for their skits, at least in their early career? Fucking Kanye West. Kanye West had the dopest skits. You guys remember the skits off his first album?
God,
Like,
Can I peg a skit right now? I can't even
he had, a
think.
skit, he had like 5 skits, I think, and off the second album, bro. In the second album, he had Bernie Mac open the fucking album,
that's
like talking
right.
shit. And no, on the
Remember
first
that.
album too, he's talking to him.
No,
he's
I
like,
remember that.
Kanye, can you do something beautiful? Something beautiful for the kids.
That's
Like, bro,
right.
Kanye had all the skits, bro.
That's right.
Everybody's
Man.
first album's got some skits.
Straight
How
up.
are there skits anymore?
That's a lost art, man. We need skits
We
back.
actually talked about
Spokane, we
trying to
bringing
do that.
skits back.
His solo project that he's got coming, I'm actually producing the beats and stuff for it. And you talked about, you have a couple ideas that
I
you
have
want to
some
try.
skits. I have like I'm gonna open it up with like a spoken piece.
Oh,
like on some kind of like poetry shit.
Oh, I like
you
that.
know, like some hip hop.
That's gonna be like one of the first tracks.
The very
yeah, that's
first-
gonna be the
very first
opening
intro.
piece. Yeah,
Just
like
no
I just
music with it, just like
maybe some like ambient music in the background, but definitely not like to a beat.
Some
Like,
kind of like build.
you know what I mean? Like kind of like some snap your fingers jazz
Something
room
new,
shit.
unique,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Something to draw people in, and like
Yeah.
when there's less beat too, and it's just words, people are more geared in to listen to
Right.
what you're saying.
Well, and the album is definitely built. I've definitely like curated it into like a project, like we were talking about earlier. So that's like the introduction to that. Like I kind of like took the thinking out of it for you. Like let me just tell you, like this is where I'm starting off with this, and then
is what's
take you
up.
down the road with me. You know,
I love that. One thing that's like, I think one of the biggest, like, kind of slights or shade that you can get as an artist, like especially if you don't make beats, right? And you find a beat, you love a beat, you listen to it, you wrote a song to it, you bought the beat, whatever, right? Is when somebody listens to the song and they're listening to it and they fuck with it and they say, I just really fuck with this beat. And you're like,
man.
did you hear what I was saying?
I feel you. I've only ever bought one beat in my life, and it was the beat for Guillotine.
Yeah.
Because you make beats.
Because I make beats. And
Exactly.
so when someone says that to me, it is a
pride,
little,
right?
it
You're
is
just
shitty,
like-
but then at the same time, you're like, yeah. I know you do.
Especially
Like, I made
if
that
you
shit.
bought that is, and that is, I feel like one of the most ways that you could be a complete artist. If you made the beat and
Right.
you rapped on it, you did everything on it. It's
Yeah.
like, front to back, like you're getting the compliment of the entire
Right.
project.
I mean, those are the
it's a
cats that are-
straight piece of
bad,
you. Like,
Especially when you guys were talking about the SoundCloud thing, and when you like, you would just get like a YouTube beat or something like that, and you would do some bars over it, and they're like, oh, I love, dope beat, and you're just like, yeah, the one thing I didn't do, sweet, all right, cool.
Yeah.
thank like XT714 who posted it. I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like, no, being a producer has definitely made the creation of my project a lot easier because I don't know if you ever heard of Splice at all.
Yeah, where you can get like royalty free samples.
I just signed up for that like right when COVID had hit. and then just kind of crack down on doing whatever I could to enhance my production and make it as, you know, best as I can. And
it really gives you a jumping off point, right?
Oh yeah, and like when you actually can, me and him have talked about it a couple times because like
that people were familiar with.
When you're the one curating the actual music as well as the vocals, it's easier to create the exact vibe that you're going for. Like, I mean, I've been producing his stuff for a while, and out of the 7 beats that he is using, there's like 15 beats that have been made that aren't being used because, you know, he was trying to curate what he heard it. And he's even said, you know, he, like you said, like being able to make that beat would have made that process way easier.
Just having a, like, it's tough sometimes because, you know, the relationship of being an artist and like getting a beat from somebody, and, you know, like when, especially when someone's like, oh, I made a beat for you. And if you don't feel it, to be like, you know, it's just, you know, as an artist, you're very particular with what you're trying to go for, you know, and, and I know that old heads just hate shit like Splice, you know, like they'll clown on shit like Splice, and like, because it's like at work at Cinder, it's crazy. I'll just be listening to, they'll have like oldies on, like old ass music, right? And you'll start to
like
hear
the shit we sample and like
you'll start to hear the shit that Kanye sampled.
Yeah,
all these
it's all like, samples.
Where Biggie sampled.
Oh
yeah,
damn
sampled.
And they're deep too. Those samples are deep, and those songs.
When you know that,
around just
it's
because,
Patti LaBelle, it's the Temptations.
Yeah, these are deep samples.
It adds a layer to the song that sampled the shit when you know where the sample came from. Like.
You think
sometimes
the song
they
you know
intentionally do that, like pick that sample, not because of how it sounds, but because of what it means, like the original song meant. You know what I'm saying? Like
I did one with what was that one that I did when I started? Because I bought the same record player that he has because I can plug it into my DI system and I can actually just record straight off my record player into the fucking computer. Sick. And I started messing with some old records and doing some. I mean, Confidential. That song you said, that's actually a sample from. You ever seen the movie Dr. Zhivago? Super old, like 1960s classic.
Really?
Big epic movie. That actually is off of that soundtrack. It's called The Funeral. I took that sound clip, and that's what made the whole that whole like dreamy sound. Like, so I experimented a little bit with that, and the best one I think I did, we still haven't fucked with, is that
the Masterpiece.
Well, Masterpiece by
I can't think of it.
Washington.
Grover Washington Jr.
I basically just took he's got a big old jazz like ensemble track that I just made into something. But the one I was talking about was the fucking Barry White one.
Oh, fucking Standing on the Shadow of Love. Yeah.
So I took that and made it into this, like, it kind of reminds me of that Ghostface song with, remember that song he did with Amy Winehouse?
Yeah.
Where he's like,
I think so.
I told myself that I
No, you talking about Mr. Jones?
No good. No.
Oh, I was like, that's Nas.
I lied to myself. No, it's straight Ghostface. He's talking about, like, she's cheating on him.
She knows that I'm no good. Yeah.
That's what that reminds me of.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So it ended up being kind of like
I think that was a remix, but
it is a remix.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. It reminded me that Barry White track.
Yeah, it's
really
definitely
cool
got that
to
type
actually
of vibe.
take some. We also took Billy Joel, Stilettos. There's an old like Billy Joel song called "And She Does in Her Stiletto," and I dropped the octave of it, so it sounds like a 6'4" black guy singing it. Like,
It's pretty slick, actually.
Dude, I think that, you know, some people will say, oh, it's like, oh, it's stealing, this is that.
Ah,
I think
man.
it is,
Samples,
I
baby.
think that it is beautiful to be able to
That's
take
art,
something,
man.
pitch it down, do
Yeah.
it different.
We're
speed
all
it up.
stealing from each other, man. Like,
Yeah.
at this point in like human progression, man, like, there's like that theory, right? Like that there's nothing original left in the world. Like anything is just
Unless
a
your brother
variation.
nature going.
I know. Right. But they say everything at this point in like human existence is just a reiteration of something someone's already done. Like you can put an original touch on it, sure, but like it's not original. Like you know what I'm saying?
And even where we come from, just us individually, we're influenced and taking our style. A lot of times the style that we have is a mixture of 4 of our favorite artists or 3 of our favorite artists. We're just a combination of all of our favorite stuff.
Well, and the fact of the matter is too, if you know like musical theory or scales or anything like that, there's only a certain amount of notes.
Yeah.
There's only a certain amount of melodies. There's only a certain amount of combinations, and they've been doing it since fucking I don't know, Mozart. I don't know how long ago Mozart was,
Yeah.
but like, you don't think Mozart has every single melody in his whole catalog already there? Like,
to think you're coming up with something new.
Yeah,
it's like,
sorry,
bro, you
bro.
might have not have listened to anything, but it's
Exactly.
been done.
It's
Even if
done.
you think you're coming up with
Yeah,
something
yeah,
new,
yeah.
subconsciously,
so
you
I
took
think
it.
I think the main battle then is like the word originality itself. Like, new is new, but you can do something that's been done in an original new way.
Yep.
If that makes sense. So I think that's really and that's kind of what I've been trying to do with this new album is like, I'm trying to bring this modern stuff in, but at the same time, you know, keeping that who I am in there. But at the same time, I'm putting like EDM influences into stuff because I mean, I fuck with some of that.
I love the genre bending.
Yeah, when you pull from all those areas, you do get an original piece.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's like your last option to get that close to that, you know?
So when's the album coming out? Have you announced that? Do you
So
have a date?
The album was supposed to come out last month. I've been done with it since July.
I'm so glad that it didn't, because here you are.
All right.
You hear what he said? I've been done with it since July.
I've been done tracking since July.
I've been ready to drop it.
But like I said, I got 6 guys featuring on it, and it's COVID right now, and everyone's schedules are crazy. So
Yeah.
And he's working with artists, period.
Exactly.
Like, that's a
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
headache in its own.
Itself, yeah.
I got 2 more tracks to finish, and then I'm gonna sit down. What I kind of did with this, and he kind of touched on it earlier, of like, I sat down. I released an EP, which we're actually gonna release a remaster of it probably here in like 3 weeks. But I released an EP 2 years ago that I did in 2 months all by myself in my room. Made all the beats. Didn't take any fucking help or advice from people. Just kind of did my own thing, and like, it's dope. It's tight, but it's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
And so going forward, it was like, I have these guys who are super good in their own areas, you know? So why would I like not tap into that? Like, he's been in multiple sessions when he's not even tracking. I'm just having him sitting in the corner like, what do you think about that? Like,
Listening. Just putting
yeah,
that
be like,
extra
nah,
ear
bro,
on it.
don't do it like this. And so to take his creative influence, to take like, I started working with Chartre. He's doing all my vocals now.
That's right. That's what Nye was telling me.
So I can
Chartre
get
is-
all
is
that
amazing.
shit crisp.
Oh, yeah.
I'm working with Cameron with like back end stuff, management stuff. I'm working with Caleb.
Cameron's the dude from Free the Jester?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was just kind of like, you know, let's bring all these heads in to make the best possible product. And part of that was I want a bunch of features on it because it's 14 tracks. Like,
Yeah.
And so,
I
you
think
know.
it's cool to shine a light and showcase your friends too.
Oh
Your
yeah, and
talented
that's
friends.
what, like everybody on it's kind of in the crew, whether they're like specifically in the crew or like affiliated a little bit, and like it's now just a matter of we got to get these last 3 songs done, and then I got to sit down and decide what's the best point of attack. Because I mean, shit's fucking crazy right now. You
I just
know, like-
I respect the not rushing,
Yeah.
the not pushing.
He
pushing.
tries.
Thank you.
He
Yeah, I was gonna say thank
He
you. 'Cause
tries.
I'd drop it tomorrow if it was done, but I have people telling me like, nah,
It's good.
chill
it's
out.
good,
Like,
bro.
I've been working on it for.
You only get one shot at it.
Exactly.
One shot at it. And then it's out, and then the worst feeling is when it's out and you listen to it and you're like, oh, I wish I would
should have
have
done this.
Damn, I could have emphasized that word more, or did this or did that.
Well, it's been a year. We're going on a year of straight work on it, and like it's like I said, I've been done tracking since July, and then I started tracking all the other artists and getting mixes done and getting mastering done, and we got some photo shoots going. We got a music video shot already. We got artwork going already.
So you got a music video in the vault.
ready to go.
Ooh.
Newports and a Sprite.
Oh,
Check that out.
okay.
Yeah.
Did you have any elimination? Like, did you write X amount of tracks and eliminate down to 14 or?
So, yes.
Yeah, because
But-
I mean, that's typically.
No, totally. There's one track which I tried to call Nate last night. Sorry, Nate. I tried to call Nate at like 1 a.m. last night when I was hammered. Because there is one track that got completely eliminated. And I was all hammered last night, and it came on, and I was like, "No, this is fucking dope."
Oh, that happened.
We're putting it on. But then there were 3 other tracks they were the first 3 tracks me and Nate recorded last year, and like they're good tracks, and I liked them a lot. But as we started going, and my production got better, and the idea of the album changed, they didn't really fit. But I liked them, so what I ended up doing is I just dropped those singles all this summer.
Isn't that a cheat code? Is when those elimination tracks
Right.
are just like, well, we got our singles now.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
And like they're good songs. They're just like super like traditional boom bappy,
Yeah.
which is what I was trying to like not get away from because that element's there. But like that was the whole first EP was just boom bap, like
Just that.
yeah, and so I dropped Levitation on my birthday in June, and then I dropped Barry Allen and Dojo here in August, and they're fun songs, they're great songs, they just weren't fitting the rest of the album because, like you were saying, it's a full piece of music at that point.
Yeah.
So I dropped them, and it's kind of generating a little bit of. As artists, you have to stay in people's view a little bit.
Yeah.
You got to give them a little bit. And I'm even thinking about dropping one of the singles from the album a little prematurely, but
It's kind of nice too to have a couple, like, even before you drop them as singles, just to have them like for live shows.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
To be like, you've
Yeah.
never heard this shit before,
yeah,
like.
you got it polished because it's been in your ear
so you
forever.
got it. Like it's, I can
It's crazy
spit
how
this in front of you.
some of those live tracks are like that, and it's like, oh, this thing goes live, and nobody even fucking knows about it.
Straight up, man.
You said June. Are you a Gemini?
I am.
I can
June
totally
19th.
tell. I can totally tell he's a Gemini. I am too.
You are?
June
Oh, that's
5th.
right.
Yeah,
That's
June
right.
5th. Yeah,
We're different. We're weird people. you
Yeah,
know.
no, we're weird. When you said I freak out a little bit about people being on time with shows, I'm like, I already kind of was like,
But then at the
all right.
same time, you're getting smashed
yeah,
at the end of the show.
and then you learn your lesson.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, shit, man.
But yeah.
Dude, I appreciate you coming on here, man, and chopping it up and letting us know
Oh, yeah.
the backstory of how all this started, man. I'm excited to get you guys all on and get Nye in here and really and free the Jester too. I was talking to Willie, and I know they got a spot where they rehearse and do their
Yeah, actually, Willie said something about wanting to talk to you. He'd love to get up here and talk about some
Yeah, we
Jester
were
stuff.
thinking, Brennan said that we can get mobile with it. So I was,
Word.
there's a lot of bandmates, right? So I wanted to make sure that we could get it to a place where maybe we can get everybody in there. But I don't know, man. Just let the people know where they can find all the music and where they can, find you on social media and all that.
You can find any Free the Jester tracks under Free the Jester on any streaming platform, all the way down to fucking Pandora. LCD, same thing. Lilac City Dynamics on Facebook, Instagram, fucking
Most of our catalog's on YouTube.
yeah,
Our whole
YouTube.
catalog's
Whole
on
catalog's
YouTube.
on
Okay.
Most of
YouTube.
our stuff's on
Most
Spotify.
of it's on Spotify,
and
yeah.
Apple.
And then with my solo shit, you can find me on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. Just Lane Flynn.
Are you on
Yeah, I was gonna say-
Spotify?
I'm on Spotify. Yeah, it's just the 3 right now. And then, like I said, basically what happened was I released my EP last year or 2 years ago, and then I didn't pay my annual fee, so it all got pulled. But now I'm like rolling with the punches, and I'm remastering it.
Yeah,
So you'll be able to catch that probably in the next week or two.
Okay.
But yeah, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, fucking everywhere. Pretty much.
You got a show right before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we're doing Jester Thanksgiving. I got tickets for y'all actually. Thanksgiving Throwdown, night before Thanksgiving. Come down to the Knit. I think it starts at like 3 with the pre-fun. They're doing like a whole. You seen the District Bar over there at the Knit? That's
Yeah.
connected. They're doing like an acoustic dinner thing before the show.
word?
Yeah, that's the pre-fun because they're doing like turkey and fucking.
I haven't even read that.
Wow,
far. Okay.
Yeah,
that's
that's
tight.
pretty
Yeah,
tight,
that's
bro.
really tight.
They're gonna
Yeah.
do that, and then we're gonna go up on the stage on the main stage. We got Caleb Joe, or I think it's just Caleb now.
I think it's just
My bad, bro.
Caleb now.
It's Caleb, Ease from CCB's performing,
Mm-hmm.
and then Nixon Rodeo and Jester, and then we have 2 artists that we can't announce yet, but I
Such a
think
secret.
I think
Something
you'll
to
be
look forward
very
to.
excited when you hear who they are.
Really?
And then
Ooh, I'm
after
very
that,
excited.
this cat. If you don't have your baby,
Yeah, actually, shit.
There's an after
My
party
baby
at
is due
District.
that night.
yeah.
Oh
yeah.
shit!
So I'm supposed to be performing, but don't be mad at me.
He's coming while you on
Yeah,
stage.
man. Shit.
But yeah, I mean, it'll be fun. It's free. Just bring your tickets. Get your tickets from anyone.
Bring
in London.
yourself.
Yeah.
Bring yourself.
That's
Bring your
cool.
friends.
Bring your
friends,
fam.
love it.
Bring
Fucking,
them all.
we do it every year. This is the 7th one, so it's only gotten big. Like I said, last year was last year we had to skip because of the whole COVID.
Of course,
thing.
yeah.
But the year before that was like 1,200 fucking people. So
Yeah, that's the one I
Dope.
remember seeing.
We actually have. I think we have some footage from the last after party that we did for the throwdown.
we have
Like
one
on YouTube?
scene.
Do we?
Yeah. Oh no, yeah,
No,
we
we have a
have we
couple.
have live footage.
We have
from
some live footage for LCD. Go
Yeah.
go check us out on YouTube and get that live
So just
footage if you want to
Lilac
feel.
City Dynamics on YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's,
we have videos on there. We have music videos. We have live videos. I got really into like taking the video from the live and then putting our live backing track behind it. So it's
that's
actually
fucking great.
right. So the music's actually not distorted and shit like that. But
Okay.
so we have all sorts of stuff on there. We have like a 10-minute mini movie. 2 months with LCD of us on the road and doing just stupid shit. So.
That's beautiful, man. That's great.
It's good content.
Trying to give it all to y'all.
Well, thanks for jumping on, guys. We appreciate you.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
thanks,
All
man.
right, guys, check them out. Lilac City Dynamics right here. We got Lane Flynn. We got Jew. I appreciate you guys, man.
Oh yeah, back at
All
you,
right,
brother.
y'all. We out.
Peace.
Peace.
Yo, I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy to be here. 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 Yo, I'm just happy to be here.
Like the anticipation before a show, you know, like, do you guys get, you know, those butterflies, get nervous, kind of like you got to take a fat shit before you get up there? Like,
Usually. It's made it weird to do shit like that because I've always notoriously like just beat off like the fucking night monster. Like,
Woke up like 3
it's,
hours ago.
yeah, it takes. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
oh shit.
I'm a weirdo, bro. Sorry.